They say karma never misses. And now, Diddy's finally facing his. But according to ex-mobsters, what's coming for him behind bars is far worse than anything the law could deliver. The news hit like a thunderclap after years of rumors, lawsuits, and shocking allegations. Sean Diddy Combs, the man once known as the king of hip-hop, has finally been sentenced. But when the judge said 50 months, the courtroom fell silent. People didn't cheer, they didn't cry, they stared in disbelief. 50 months, just over 4 years, for crimes that would have buried most men alive, for acts so disturbing that even hardened criminals, men who've lived and killed by the code, are saying guys got life sentences for less than this.
I mean, what this guy did is disgusting. I don't think there's a person alive, a man or a woman, especially women, who are not going to hate this guy. Whatever he did was completely disgusting. It's beyond criminal. I don't even know what it is. I look at it like he disgraced everybody. He disgraced the black race by being a black man. I know a lot of black people and they hate him for it because it painted a picture towards all of them. I think it's being followed all over the world. If he's not found guilty or he's cut free or he does a short amount of time, I mean, I could only imagine what the whole world would think. This is a disgusting country.
Ex-mafia bosses, men who've spent decades behind bars, couldn't believe what they were hearing. They said Diddy's actions weren't just criminal, they were unforgivable. That even in the darkest corners of organized crime, what Diddy did would make him a target. The once powerful mogul who built Bad Boy Records, launched superstars and ruled the music industry, now stood as just another inmate. And yet, even with a 50-month sentence, whispers began to spread. He won't serve all that time. He's got a deal. He knows people at the top. Because in a world built on money, secrets, and influence, justice doesn't always wear a blindfold. Sometimes it takes a bribe. When the mob speaks, people listen. These are men who've lived their lives in blood, power, and silence. They've done time. They've seen monsters. But even they, the ones who used to run entire cities from underground, are saying the same thing. Diddy went too far.
His business is the enterprise, and the people that worked for him were part of the conspiracy. So maybe they're unindicted co-conspirators, and they got immunity because, like Michael said, on my indictment, it said the United States of America versus, and then there was 8 names. And we all conspired to commit crimes. Diddy's alone. Who did he conspire with? Did he conspire by himself? Did he extort people? Yes, he did. Did he kidnap people? He held them against his will? Yes, he did. He brought people across state lines, which is a federal offense. But to be a RICO just on him, you know, it's hard for me to understand how that happens.
Yeah, and I do think that, I mean, listen, we got weeks and weeks left of just the prosecutor's case, but already we've seen one of the assistants who said he got immunity. And my feeling is that his second in command, Christina Coram, either she's going to plead the fifth or she's going to have been offered immunity or use immunity for her testimony. I do think you're right. It's kind of confusing without the conspirators, but my feeling is that right now, to get the testimony against the guy at the top, they may be offering them immunity. But like I said, we still have to find that out.
Former mafia bosses like Michael Franzese and Anthony Ruggiano Jr. have spoken out, not to defend him, but to condemn him. They say Diddy broke a rule that even the mob never crossed. You don't hurt women, not your wife, not a stranger, not
It has
ever.
also been confirmed that at least 3 of the witnesses in Diddy's trial were given immunity.
You violate another man's daughter or wife, you disappear. No second chances, no forgiveness.
But they didn't beat up and kill girls all the time. Do you see a big difference here with the kind of behavior Diddy's accused of doing compared to the behavior of mobsters?
Oh, absolutely. Let me say this. I always take the position, you know, someone's innocent until proven guilty. That's just my position all the time. However, we have seen certain things. I think everybody has seen the hotel video where he was obviously beating her up. And the testimony has been absolutely despicable. And nobody in my former life would ever approve of something like that. And I think Anthony will vouch for that. We didn't beat up women. We didn't do things like that. We were taught to respect women in a big way, especially our families. So, in our life, if you violated another made man's wife, daughter, sister, mother, you're in a lot of trouble. So we didn't stand for that in any way, shape, or form. And like I said, the acts that are being described here are disgusting, despicable. If somebody like that was in our former life, he wouldn't last, quite honestly. And again, I would love to hear, I believe that the defense is going to attack the RICO statute here. You said, possibly there are witnesses that have been given immunity. Not possibly, 100%. I mean, that's how government builds cases. They go after people, they get them to cooperate, and they give them immunity. So like Anthony said, there's probably several unindicted co-conspirators here that all decided, hey, we're not going to take the fall, we're going to cooperate, we're going to testify, and that's why they weren't indicted. So I would believe what Anthony said, that, they're going to use the theory that you said, that the whole, Bad Boy Records was a criminal enterprise. He was at the top of it. He used these other people to implement his criminal schemes, and that's how they charged him with RICO. But these acts are just, the real question is, how did this go on for 20 years? 20 years this was going on. A guy as high profile as that, and I've said this before, and nobody gets charged for it. It's allowed to continue for 20 years. There's no question that people knew that this was going on. There were high profile people involved. How does something like this go on for 20 years?
So when these same men, killers, extortionists, former dons, say that what Diddy did was beyond criminal, it's bad. They said he disgraced his people, his culture, and every person who ever looked up to him. One mobster said, "He's a disgrace to black men everywhere." The world is watching. If he walks free, this country is disgusting. For years, Diddy danced while others suffered. The money, the fame, the cameras, all distractions from what was happening behind closed doors. And now those who once ruled the criminal underworld say they would have never tolerated what he did. Even in the mob, there was honor. But in Diddy's empire, there was only power. So why did the feds go easy on him? Months ago, Suge Knight warned everyone, Diddy's not going down alone. He said Diddy's been working with the feds, trading secrets for protection, and now that short sentence, it proves he was right. Then came the shocker. Donald Trump confirmed that Diddy personally asked for a presidential pardon. That request wasn't random. Diddy knew what was coming, and he tried to cut a deal long before the hammer fell. Prosecutors say Diddy ran his empire like a criminal enterprise. But the twist? Almost everyone around him got immunity. Assistants, executives, even recruiters. All walked free after testifying. So who's really being punished here? Diddy's already terrified. Sources say he's been attacked by inmates and even nearly stabbed. His lawyers are begging for a low-security prison with a rehab program, one that could reduce his time to less than a year. Court sketches showed Diddy crying, but insiders like Gene Deal say it wasn't guilt. He's not crying because he's sorry, Gene said. He's crying because he got caught. Even those who once loved him have turned their backs. For decades, Diddy's behavior was an open secret in the industry. Executives, artists, and even government contacts looked the other way. Because Diddy was untouchable. Now those same people are running scared. Ex-mobsters say if Diddy had lived by their code, he'd already be gone. They never tolerated men who abused women, and they say Diddy's name would have been erased from history. But this story isn't over. Rumors of a federal cover-up and a possible pardon are growing louder. If Diddy walks free, the question won't be how, it'll be who helped him and who's next. Because when even ex-mobsters say a man went too far, it's only a matter of time before the truth explodes.